lawyer. He has joined us. Then Dr. Raju Majhi. Oh, very nice. Banaras Hindu University, Varanasi. We welcome you. We welcome you. So, आप करिए तैयारी यश जैसे ही आप ग्रीन
Yes,
सिग्नल
sir.
देंगे.
Sir, हो गया sir. Live हो गया हमने.
All right. So I would request my colleague Akanksha to please welcome our honorable guest. And,
Sure, sir. Yeah. Greetings to all. BSK Legal, in collaboration with Briefcase, is proud to organize this webinar on the topic Mergers and Acquisitions in a Digital Economy. It's requested to the audience to drop their questions in the chat box, which would be taken at the end of the session. We have with us Mr. Sanjay K Chadha, who is the founding and managing partner at BSK Legal, and Mr. Manish Mohan Govil, who is a 1994 batch IRS Customs and Excise Officer on deputation to the Competition Commission of India. He is presently advisor and heads the commission division of the commission that investigates mergers and acquisitions and gives approvals for high-value combinations. He has worked in various capacities at Calcutta and Delhi, Airport Customs, Department of Administrative Reforms, and Public Grievances of Government of India, etc. Sanjay sir, I kindly request you to take over the session.
Thank you very much, Akanksha. And today, as Akanksha has just said, one second, I have to just set up this thing. Yeah. As can't Yash, how yeah, this is what speakers mode पे कर दें जैसे कि जो recording है वो speaker जो बोले उनकी है. So today, as we are here to discuss, as the topic is mergers and acquisition, and I'm very honored that a very beloved friend and family member, if I may say so, is here with me to discuss it. Primarily, it is his topic, and we will just, I'm very happy to share with you, Manish, that the entire Zoom is jammed now. It is full 100% capacity is full, and we have large number of students are there from all parts of the country, and even in the YouTube we have quite a big number of students are there. Now, I will just give a background and would like to convey, and then what exactly for the understanding, rather better understanding of the topic, I will just give a sketch to my listeners that mergers and acquisitions, we all are well aware that mergers have their own advantages, and this mergers and acquisitions have their own great advantages, like benefits, like by doing mergers we use the economy of scale is being more efficiency can be accepted, more profits, more R&D. So all these are benefits, growth in business, technical as well as all other kind of positives are there of mergers and acquisition. Functional positivity, struggling firms can get benefit of the bigger established firms. Excellent R&D is what we get out of merger. More investment, higher profits, as far as if we see it from the point of view of the owner side, and it also avoid duplication. That's what primarily, broadly, if you may ask me, what are the benefits of advantages of merger? But there are various other aspects which are very, very important, and where we see that government intervention, where we see that we find that how light jalalia, it gives a better view, I feel. So that there it is needed, the regulation of the government. Why it is needed? Because we have seen that with the mergers, there are chances of misuse of merger and acquisitions by having monopolistic powers. in the hands of the owners. If we talk, philosophically, I would say that it is the merger should be done. The ultimate, utmost objective of the merger acquisition should be the benefit of the consumers. And there should be unbiased, unbiased competition should be there. But we find that lot of, we have seen in the history that lot of defects have been caught by the government, by the authorities when they see the mergers doing, the wrong way, and for the more benefit of the organizers, for the more benefit of the industry as such per se. As far as the legal framework is concerned, section 391 to 394 of the Companies Act is what that particular, these sections where the procedure and the process which we have to adopt for mergers and acquisition is defined. Broadly, please see that those provisions. Then, beginning of any merger or acquisition is an agreement between the two parties. Later on, as mandated in the Companies Act, the process is always court driven. Court has to, you need to have the permission of the court, and as per the new competition law, if I am not wrong, Manishji will clarify it much better way, that what is the requirements under the Competition Act. And now, as far as I know, there is a requirement of approval from the Competition Commission as well. So as I said, the process is always court driven, mergers and acquisition. We need to have another provision which specifically mentions that we need to have 2/3 of shareholders and creditors approving such mergers or acquisition as per the Companies Act. When they attend the GBM, a general body meeting as we call, they have to give the approval. 2/3 of the approval is required. That is another requirement. Then this mergers or acquisitions have to done within a time frame, 210 days as provided in the Act. So I'm not touching all that because today's topic is little. I have just given all of you a background, what is mergers and what are the acquisition, what is basically mergers and acquisition, and how our Companies Act specifically mandates broader provisions. That is what is the mergers and acquisition as a whole. Now I would like to just give a small background of why in the current scenario, as the topic says, mergers acquisition in the what you call our current scenario as far as the web globalization or these things are concerned. As we are well aware that approximately 462 million internet users are there in our country, which comes to somewhere around 11% of the worldwide users of internet are in our country. We should know this. So that has led to, with the increase in the internet users, e-commerce has taken a great shape in last one decade especially. We have seen n number of companies coming into our country, and if I may tell you the data, approximately in the year 2017, the share of this e-commerce was approximately 2% of the GDP, somewhere around 45 billion rupees. And if we go further, if I tell you this growth, I've told you 2017. Now the growth, if I tell you in this year, the current year, the percentage had grown from 2 to 3.3. So that means the scope of e-commerce is growing day and night. It is multiplying. If I'm using this word, it will not be, from ordering grocery, booking a cab, booking a flight ticket, buying clothes, you name anything today, you very well go and just you have to click your mouse and you can order it from here. And we have seen that these big companies are doing a lot of festival sales, and fortunately today only Amazon has started a sale for 2 days, a mega sale for 6th and 7th of August has been announced by them, and today it is going on, and we see that huge sale takes place, and the benefit of economy of scale they use, and they also share it with the buyers. So this is, if I may use, rampant. It is growing at a very, very fast pace. This is the new era, as we call it. And especially in the COVID, as I say, Corona Kal, during this Corona Kal, what I have seen that this is increasing. Somewhere else I was discussing about it, Manish, that during this Corona period, we have also seen there is a twofold increase in cyber crimes also. So that's one of the other thing, though I just mentioned it. So during COVID, we have seen that there is a large increase in the business of these companies. Web internet market has really increased during this period. Now, the question which I'm putting to today is that certainly these e-commerce companies which are operating on in a bigger platform, I'll just take 2 minutes and then I'll hand over to Manish ji about this, that they have certainly hampered, if I may say, the free flow of trade, free flow of market mechanism of demand and supply, if we talk about it, commerce in the economic terms. So it is the duty of the government to see that these things which are happening, they are regularized properly. It is a big task for the government, I must say so. Similarly, in the current era, we have also seen that there are many such companies who have done this, the mergers and investments from one big company to the other. Like we can have 2-3 examples. One, Facebook has just taken a stake in Geo Mart. We have seen, and you just look at the share price. It has gone from 900 to 2100 in just 3 months. Reliance. So huge impact is there. That's what I wanted to communicate. Now we have to be very, very cautious. The government has to be very, very cautious in such mergers, acquisitions, investment. What is the important role of the government? What I feel. And Competition Commission, where my friend Manish is the legal advisor to the entire organization, I think they are keeping lens in their hand, and they are trying to catch hold of if there is anything wrong which is going on. And how they do all this, I think nobody better than Manish will be there to answer this. So I would request now my dear friend, my brother Manish, to take charge, and I will hand over you the entire meeting. And before which, I wanted to just say, everybody, just wanted to communicate to each one of you, my students who are also my family members, that me and Manish, we were together in the hostel. We used to share one room. So that's, that goes back, I think, 25, 30 years back. And and I am one of his fans since then. And he has a great contribution in my life also. So for me, it is an opportunity to thank you, Manish, for all the help you have rendered to me all through your life and all the love you have given to me. It's a, I feel today I should thank you for that as well. So I will welcome you, and let's have this session. I would just give it to you to please take charge of it.
So thank you so much, Sanjay, for such a wonderful, it's a very overwhelming introduction you have given to me. And I'm so thankful to you. First of all, let me congratulate you for organizing this seminar. It's a very, very important thing, that initiative that you have taken. And especially in this time of COVID, when we don't have access to learning resources, at this time you have thought and organized this seminar. It's a very, very good step. So we should all give him a big round of applause.
Thank you.
So thank you so much. Secondly, I would like to welcome all my young friends who have joined today for this seminar. Very nice of you to have come and taken out time, because in this time I'm so happy to see that a lot of people have joined. Nowadays, there is a whole deluge of webinars which are going on. So a lot of invitations to webinar, and sometimes it becomes very boring. So, but for your students taking out time in the evening, rather than going out and watching movie, and instead of hearing a lecture on mergers and acquisition, I feel really elated, and I'm so happy to see so many people join here and attending this lecture. The third thing I would like to tell you about my organization, which is Competition Commission of India, and we do regulate mergers and acquisition. And today I will be only talking to you about the digital economy. And because it's a very, very important sector, and you know that how in this world we have all become interconnected. So it is just that the virus which came out of Wuhan has affected everyone, whether you are staying in Warangal, or you're staying in Wazirpur, or you're staying in Washington. Each and everybody is affected, and this is because we are staying in an interconnected world. And because of this interconnected world, there is also a responsibility which we all have, and that is to take everyone together. And that is what is the main essence of competition. So competition in basically would mean is to seek together. So for example, you are manufacturing shoes. So you are seeking your customers. So everybody is manufacturing shoes. So they are all trying to seek the best, trying to give the best quality to the customers at the best of price. So if in the market there is competition, the market works well. But if there is no competition, and if only one person is having all the resources, then in that case, the market gets distorted. So the players of the market can distort the market. So fair competition is like participating in an Olympic race or in Olympic Games. So you all are, there are a lot of countries that participate. There is a fair participation, and then there are few winners, and then there are few losers over there. But suppose somebody uses drugs and enhances his performance, and in that case is trying to win the race, then he is distorting the competition. So same way, the market is like a big arena, and in this arena there are other players. There are small countries, there are big countries, there are small players, there are big companies, there are suppliers, distributors, customers, consumers, and so many other entities who are there in the market, and all are competing in different games, so which are relevant markets. So there is somebody competing in the telecom sector, somebody is providing airline services, somebody is providing tourism services. So many type of markets and races are going on, and in each of these markets there are a lot of players, and all players are trying to win the race, that is to get maximum profit and give the best benefit and the best quality of services or the products to the customers. So in this race, what happens is that there are some people who are efficient, but then there are certain people who misuse the facility. Like in the Olympic race, they use drugs. Over here also, they will be distorting the market practices, and through which they win the race. So that is wrong. So like in the Olympic race, we have the World Anti-Doping Agency, which is there to regulate. So same way is the Competition Commission of India. So Competition Commission of India is a regulator. It does not come and tell you what to do, but just keeps watching a watch over here. So we are just seeing whether the race is being played according to the rules of the games or not. And if anybody distorts the market, then we have to make sure that he is punished. So what are distortions of the market? You might get into a cartel arrangement, or you might abuse your dominant position. So in those cases, those things are prohibited under the Competition Act. Today, what we are going to talk about is mergers and acquisition, where we are regulating mergers and acquisition ex ante. So what I'll do is I'll take you through a presentation which I have made, and that will help us basically to recollect my thoughts, and there is a scheme to the whole lecture, so I'll be able to finish it on time. So I'll just share the screen with you. Just a minute. Give me a moment. Yeah. So can you see the screen?
Yes, we can see.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you can see the screen, and view. Okay. So as I said, the whole world is interconnected, and a touch in one place can lead to a touch in another place, and this is how the COVID is spreading all over. And in this, because of this interconnectedness, this interconnectedness has now increased because of the digital economy. So this you will see over here. Have a look at the top 5 US firms by capitalization over the last more than a century. So in 1900s, it was companies like Intel, Business Machine Corp, or ExxonMobil, or General Electric, or Maersk and Company, which were amongst the top 5. Till the whole of last century, we didn't have even a single company entering into this top 5 group except Microsoft Corp. So this was the first company which entered into this elite group of top 5 companies. Going over to 2010, you see that one more company, Apple, has entered. And by the time we reach 2020, all the top 5 companies are connected with the digital world. So either they are providing digital services, for example, Apple, which provides Apple app, music, laptops, etc., telephones, phone connection, Alphabet, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, they are all which are in this digital space. However, this digital space has really helped us today, since we are not able to meet each other physically, but we are also able to meet each other through this platform, which is a Zoom platform. We are able to meet each other, and I am able to convey this lecture to more than 500 people sitting here in my office. However, they are becoming too big because of the concentration which is going on. And a lot of antitrust agencies, which you must have heard, like the European Commission, also the Competition Commission of India. These are the 2 antitrust agencies of the US. One is the Department of Justice, and the other is the Federal Trade Commission. So these are the leading antitrust companies, and they have started investigation against Google, Apple, Facebook, and Amazon. So these four companies are known as the GAFA companies: Google, Amazon, Facebook, and Apple. So recently, this is on the 29th of July, some of you can go and have a search and look at it. The top CEOs of these technology industry testified in a House hearing to discuss their business practices. So they were told as to how the way they handle their online content, what are the unfair practices against potential competitors. Basically, they were questioned about the ability to wield their market power to crush competitors and amass huge data. That is the main thing about it. They are able to amass huge amount of data, and huge amount of customers are there. I'll tell you how they amass so much of data, how they do this thing. And they have skyrocket profit. They have become one of the world's biggest companies. And if they cannot crush their competitors, what they do is they buy their competitors. For example, 4 or 5 years back, Facebook had bought WhatsApp. And similarly, Apple, Google, Amazon, all of these companies are into heavy acquisition of companies. So, yeah. So these are the top 5 companies which I said. So many of these companies, they grow in size, and this growth could be because they are expanding, but it is also because they are acquiring. So mergers and acquisition, as my friend Sanjay had said, that it helps in economies of size and scale. It also helps in vertical integration. So for example, a car company is acquiring another tire company. So instead of 2 companies making 2 margins, they acquire, they are producing it in-house. Then there could be complementary resources. For example, there's a company which makes printers, and there's another company which makes what you call cartridges. So the companies which make printers and companies which make cartridges, they come together. Or there could be surplus fund in one industry, or there could be industry consolidation. For example, recently we have seen Vodafone, Reliance, all these companies coming together. So all these companies come together, they have a pro-competitive rationale, but they also accumulate market power. And because of that accumulation of market power, they can distort the market. So how do they distort the market? So let's see these 2 diagrams. On one side is the pre-merger, and one side there is a post-merger. So in this pre-merger scene, there is this customer, and the first person is giving him a choice. So he says, you buy my product for 100 rupees and take 1 year service free. So the other service provider is telling us that you buy my product at 98 and take 6 months service free. So there is a competition. Both are trying to offer their goods in the best way possible. So customer is very happy. He has got competition between them, and it is benefiting. But post-merger, they become a single entity. Now, post-merger, he says, I am going to sell my goods at 102 rupees, and I will not give any free service. So this merger, what happens is, has started adversely affecting the customer. Okay, so what happens is, instead of cartelizing, the difference between a cartel and a merger is that a merger is a legal transaction that leads to consolidation of 2 or more entities. So it is legally possible. It is a legal transaction, and legal transaction is something which is where 2 companies are coming together. So such type of transactions, so that they do not create big behemoths and they do not distort the market. So in such cases, Competition Commission tries to scrutinize such big deals to see that the market does not have such type of concentration, which can lead to appreciable adverse effect on competition. So what we do is what is called the ex ante regulation. What is ex ante? Ex ante is before the deal, the transactions gets consummated or the deal gets notified. So before it gets notified, it comes to the CCI, and the CCI gets a window of 210 days under the Act. And in that 210 days, it has to see whether the deal is anti-competitive or not. That is called what is called the merger review. Okay. Other things are ex post. Ex post is where we are imposing penalty. If two companies get into a cartel, I think you already had a couple of lectures on competition law, so I won't repeat it. But if there is abuse of dominance or there is anti-competitive activities, agreements, then these are punished by the law. As I gave you the example of the Olympic race. So if you are taking drugs and trying to win the race, then you will be punished. So similarly here also, if you are trying to cartelize or if you are trying to enter into unlawful agreements or you are trying to abuse your dominance or predatory pricing, in such cases, you will be punished under the competition law. So those activities are prohibited. Those are ex post, after the activity takes place. This is ex ante, before the activity is consummated. And the section under which we do this merger review is section 5, which defines combination. And as Mr. Chadha had informed, that this is under the Companies Act. So here I would like to clarify that under the Companies Act, there are only certain mergers and acquisitions which come under the Companies Act. So these mergers and acquisitions are basically which are public, where there is a public offering. So 76% of it is merged, and then 26% they have to offer it to the public. So those are basically, they come under the scheme of mergers and amalgamation, which is under section 230 subsection 5 of the Companies Act. Instead of, now the whole scheme has changed. Previously it used to go to the court, but now it goes to the NCLT. So NCLT cases, but all cases which goes to NCLT need not come to Competition Commission of India. So only those cases will come to Competition Commission of India which are large in size. So how do we check the largeness of the size? It is seen by the assets and turnover. Wherever the assets are more than 2,000 crores, I'm just giving an example, at an enterprise level. There are group levels, the turnover assets may be different, or worldwide, if there is a foreign company or global, then we look at global turnover and global enterprise. So just giving you an example, where the assets is more than 2,000 crore or the turnover is more than 6,000 crore, those transactions on mergers and acquisition come before the Competition Commission of India. However, there is an exemption to it. These are de minimis acquisition, where the target, which is a company which is acquired, which a small portion of the company is acquired or a small thing is acquired. That is, if the assets is less than 300 crores or the turnover is less than 100 crores, then those companies or those transactions are not notified to the commission. So what do we notify before the commission? Any acquisition, when either it's an acquisition which is an acquisition of shares, voting rights, or assets. So acquisition is when one company buys another company and the company becomes a new owner or acquires control over the other company. So this ownership can be partial, like for example in the Facebook acquiring Reliance, in the GeoMart, they have invested 9.9% shares. So their acquisition is only partial, very small portion, 10% of the shares they have acquired. It could be a complete acquisition. For example, when Facebook acquired WhatsApp, it acquired WhatsApp completely, 100% acquisition was there. So even a partial acquisition or a full acquisition, all these acquisitions are notified before the commission. It could be also mergers and amalgamations, It happens when two firms of smaller size combine forces, the shares of both the companies are replaced by newly issued stocks of a new company. So this is what is the framework of things which are notified over here. So many of you are lawyers, and as lawyers, you will be helping companies to come before the Competition Commission of India and notifying the mergers and reviews. So large companies employ a lot of lawyers to file notifications before, and it's a very niche practice, and it's a very important part of the practice, and the lawyers get a very handsome fees in those who work in this field in mergers and acquisition. So in case of India, any merger or any notification which is more than the threshold has to be mandatorily notified before the commission. There is a form which has to be filled. There are two forms. If it's a normal acquisition, which will not create much of concern in the market, then they just notify it in form 1 with a fees of 20 lakhs. But if it's a large merger, which may lead to distortions in the market, like for example, two big cement companies coming together worldwide, or two big agriculture companies, Bayer and Monsanto came together, or Schneider and L&T got, Schneider bought L&T. So these type of big mergers and acquisition, they are filed in Form 2, and 65 lakhs is the fees. So what we do is, once the thing comes to us, we review. So what we are seeing is basically, if we do a, what you call, we do an analysis, which is a counterfactual. So what is a counterfactual? If two companies are working independently, they are competing. But if they come together, they may increase the market together over. So we see if they were competing together, and how, what is the two counterfactual? If they were working independently, they would not have acquired market power. But if they come together, they will acquire the market power, and they have the ability to distort the market. In case they have an ability to distort the market, we may refuse, or we may not allow that merger to take place. However, India being a new jurisdiction, till now we have not blocked any of the mergers, but there is a way out also. Way out is, we propose remedies. Those remedies are under Section 29 and Section 31 of the Competition Act. These remedies could be that you divest certain part of your industry to a third party. For example, two companies, Holcim and Lafarge, came together. They were big cement companies. So they were asked to offload the Holcim, one of the companies, and Lafarge were asked to offload their plants to a third party. So that what happens is, with the coming of the third party, there is a new player in the market, and he can come up and give competition to the large big company, which would have had around 70% of the share in the market, and it would have killed all the other competitors in the market. And some of the remedies could be behavioral remedies, that you have to work independently, you cannot exchange information, or you have to give your products to the other players also. So mergers can be horizontal mergers, that is mergers between competitors or producers or distributors of substitutes. Those are products at the same level. So for example, two car manufacturers coming together and merging. Or it could be a vertical merger, that is a car company and a tire company coming together. And it could be a conglomerate merger. Conglomerate merger is two unrelated products. So for example, a flight company coming together and a hotel company coming together. So these are the type of mergers we can have. So having given you most of this a background about these mergers and acquisition, let me take you on to the digital market. So here I'll stop my screen share, and I can take, if there are any questions, then I can take over here and then continue with my second part of the lecture.
I would say you please complete it,
Okay,
and at
I'll
the
do
end
that.
we will have a question
At
answer.
the end, we can do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Akanksha is there, who will be asking the questions.
Okay. So you, Akansha, you can take the questions, and if there are anything So
And
I hope
just
you are
your
finding
mouth,
the lecture,
if you
is the pace is good and all fine.
Yes,
you
yes,
can
yes.
you
Okay.
can have little pace, you can increase, no doubt about it. You can certainly increase it. That is one thing. Second is, I would request all the listeners who are there to put their questions in the chat box. One. Second, on the YouTube, the large number is there, so those people in the YouTube also, they can put in the questions. Now please continue.
Okay. So I'll share the screen once again.
No, you can without screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have already put up a
So
question in the chat box right now.
I'm sorry.
There is someone named Anushree Khandelwal. She has asked
Yeah,
some question.
yeah, yeah. We will take all the questions later on. After the session, we will take the questions. Yeah, please continue.
So coming to the digital economy, so digital economy also shares the same attributes with the normal market, but there is a slight difference. So what is this digital market economy? Digital economy is all these things. Uber, you are using Uber, you are using Ola, you are using Netflix, you are using what you call Make My Trip for booking.com, and so many of these websites which you are using every day. Amazon, Apple apps. So nearly every field is covered under the digital economy. Even the Zoom through which we are talking to you is through the digital economy. So how is this digital economy different? So first is that digital economy has really helped us in expansion, geographical expansion of the market. So competition is from different parts. So there is a company in China, TikTok, giving competition to another app which is developed in India and which is in US. So the competition is not localized. It has led to a worldwide competition. And also for the customer preferences. So people might be wanting to go onto an app which is a Chinese app or a US app, and so that is also there. So what has this geographical expansion helped? Geographical expansion has helped a lot both to the customers as well as the supplier. So for the customer, what happens is that you get better search results. So today, sitting over here, you want to book a hotel in Varanasi. So you can go to the internet, you can compare prices, you can search your products, and look at the photographs, look at customer reviews, etc., and make choices. So the choices for the consumers has increased. And for the suppliers also similarly. Suppliers also previously, the supplier used to have very limited access to the people who are outside the world market. But now because he can display his products on these platforms, because of that, he gets a large amount of visibility to many more customers. So you could have been sitting in Varanasi owning a hotel. You could be visible to a tourist who is coming from Sweden or from Switzerland or from any other place. So that is why there is a huge expansion of markets. Also there is innovation. So constantly new players are coming entry, and as a result of it there is a network effect. So what is the main thing about this network effect? Network effect is something which increases the value, and this is something which is very different from the regular market. So what happens is a platform has got two sides. On one side there are customers, and on the other side there are suppliers. So for the suppliers, coming onto the platform helps because it gets more customers, and for the customers he will go to those platforms where he has got more option. So as a result, what happens is key, there is a effect that customers will be attracted to the platform which has more suppliers, and similarly the suppliers will be attracted to those platforms which have more customers. So as a result, it says it's a concept called winner takes it all. and only one of the platform survives in the market. Other thing about digital economy is about interoperability, which has also got, so all these factors have good points and also the bad points also. Good points is that because of this, there is a ease of doing your business. So both customers and the suppliers are finding it easier to get their products. But on the other side, what is happening is that this platform is having a lot of market power because it has got data. That data is there, which it can use to give preference to its own people, or to give discounts to certain people, or to block entry of other people, etc., etc. So those are the problems with these big networks. Other factors are interoperability. So if you have bought something, like for example, you buy an Apple computer and App Store, so you cannot download those things on any other digital platform. So Android and Apple are operating at different places. For example, a driver who is on Ola cannot go on to Uber. So such type of restrictions could be there. So then the biggest point about this is big data. Point about big data is that a lot of data is collected by these platforms. These data is collected, and with this data you can know what your choices are. So it's very good because comparison is easy, everything is easy. But what happens is these platforms get their data. So I can relate it to you with very good example that I used to buy my goods from grocers. So grocer used to give me a lot of different brands of oil and rice, etc., etc. So now grocer has got my data and my preferences. Now they have started their own product line, and with that product line they are putting it on. Now whenever I call for certain things, all these groceries, they are coming under their own brand. So this is what happens once these people get a lot of data. That data is not shared, so there is an entry barrier because a person who's already there has got data, and the new entrant who has to enter into the market cannot compete because he doesn't have that data. So there is an entry barrier in the market, which makes the playing field gets distorted. So though there is ease of doing business because of these platforms, there is also a concern that these platforms can distort the market. It has helped. Sharing of economy is like, for example, previously you had a car. Now because of the digital platform, that if you have a vacant seat in your car, or if you have a vacant room in your house, something which was not in the means of production, because of this digital platform you can now offer it to people to come and stay. So things like Airbnb, etc., are becoming very popular because of this sharing of economy and digital platforms, and that is how you are able to harness unutilized resources. So what are the challenges in the digital market? First is big data. As I said, it can cause entry barrier because a new person who has to enter into the market doesn't have the required information. It can also lead to new form of collusion. So a Uber driver and a Ola driver, they, through complex algorithms which we do not know, can just collude together through algorithms. So two algorithms are speaking to each other, and it is an investigative challenge. How do we fix it? So a normal cartel, you can fix it by evidences of a phone call or for a meeting, etc. But these algorithms, you cannot detect how they are doing. Then many of these big companies have pricing strategies. They have become gatekeepers. Okay, so they are like a road on which you are moving, and suppliers can come and use the road. Now, if the road person who's making the road only decides who has to come on my platform and who has not to come on my platform, then it will create a non-level playing field. So in this case also, if the person who's a digital platform only allows certain people to participate in the market or on its platform and doesn't allow others to participate in the market, then it can create distortions in the market. Also, they can have something called the enforcement of most favored nation. So if there is an Amazon Kindle book, it can say that you can give this book at on my platform at a certain price, but below that price, you cannot give it to any other platform. There could be cases of resale price maintenance, where the platform owner can say that you cannot sell these goods below a certain price. So the consumers are not getting the best price, and they have complex algorithms through which they can monitor what is the resale price at which the supplier is supplying in the market. They can restrict or prohibit online sale from other markets. So you have exclusive. So if you are on Amazon, you can only sell on my platform. You cannot sell it on any other platform. Apple Store is like that. So it's very interesting. So if you get to get some time, do go on to the YouTube, and you can watch the CEOs reacting to the US senators on some of these points which I'm raising over here. So those points have been raised to the chief executive officers of Amazon and Apple and Facebook, and they have answered what is the debate. So digital market can be competitive, it can also be anti-competitive. So the challenges in digital market is that first challenges is in the mergers and acquisition. Is it the means to eliminate competition? So something called the killer acquisition. So small companies which are innovative companies are acquired by these big companies so that they eliminate competition in the market. But elsewhere, there are many small companies who want to be acquired because they get a network. Similarly, a multi-sided market, there is thresholds or asset lights. So they do not have assets. Because they do not have any assets, they are not being regulated by the competition authority. So basically, I'll try to end now and wrap up. We recently had a e-commerce study. It is available on our website. Do have a look at it. It gives you a very nice aspect about competition in the digital markets. And this study had, we had done the study on restaurant owners, online platforms, hoteliers, and along with the restaurants, we had these, on one side we had the restaurants, on the other side we had Zomatos and people, and they really debated with each other. So what was the problems which they were finding? So vendors and sellers in e-commerce platform were giving, they said that they are being given preferential treatment to certain sellers, and they get high search ranking, etc. And sometimes their policies, etc. Are not, so they get preferential treatment, there's high search ranking for preferred sellers, and they are compelled to participate in discounts. So because of the power they have on data, on the customers, and on the prices, etc., they are able to force these competitors, and if they do not fall in line, then they are moved out of the platform and to their own detriment here. So I'll end here. So we can, yeah. So I hope I was able to cover most of these points. So this is a point which you need to, just giving you a point, the point to think about this topic. It's very, very relevant. It's very interesting. I can keep on going on this topic for 2 hours, 3 hours, and still it will not be enough. There's so much of so much to learn, and in this thing.
And the best part, what I feel is that this is absolutely the current thing. The in thing is this, what we are discussing. And I'm very, I could see there are a lot of questions. So I would request Akanksha to take one by one.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. That was a very informative session.
Thank you very much for that. And now the first question I would like Akanksha to please read. Anushri Khandelwal is one of my students.
Yes, sir. So the first question that we have is that what effect does the new economy have on productivity? Do network effects inevitably create digital monopolies?
Oh, thank you. That's a very nice question.
Whose question was this?
So let me check just a
Just check.
second.
Akansha.
No, Akanksha is.
So Akanksha is my name. Let me check whose question is. This is one of the participants. So if we can move on with the question, I'll let you know whose question this is.
Yeah. So first question is that are these
What effect does the new economy have on productivity? Do network effects inevitably create digital monopolies?
Of course, the first question is very obvious. It is efficiency. Because of this network economy, you and I are talking to each other, staying in far off places. We are talking about, so it is increasing my productivity. So suppose I had to address 500 people, a class of 500 people, it would have been so difficult. First, I would have to go somewhere. Then Sanjay ji would have to organize a lecture hall, big lecture hall where 500 people can come. Then we would have all sat on the stage, and then there would be chai, pani, etc. There would be so much of cost. But because of this network effect, even my productivity has increased. Just before I was giving a lecture, I'm signing some files on the side and doing my work also. So
Still
this
sitting in the
productivity is increasing. Huh?
Still sitting in your office, we can very well see you.
Yeah.
You are connected from your office.
Yeah. So productivity obviously will increase, and whatever you pick up, whether it is booking your ticket, booking a cab, booking a room, Airbnb, buying clothes, everything is increasing. But what I said is, because of this network effect, because of this winner takes it all, only one or two players, they survive. And
No, it gives me I would like to ask you a question here. Like in airlines, what we have seen during, if you book your ticket 10 days before or even 3 days before, you get Delhi Bombay for 3,000 rupees. But if there is some urgency, you book it on the same day or a day before, you will get the ticket for 15,000 rupees. So that, you're getting my point, what I asked?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Manish, I'm audible?
Yes, you're audible.
So what I'm saying is that there are, this is not consumer friendly, I would say so.
No, I think it is perfectly fine because the airlines tickets are on a competitive level. There is competition in the market, and there are a lot of people, either Air India or the airlines, are offering these tickets on their own platform or through travel agents.
Yes.
Now, under the travel agents also, there are online travel agents, there are offline travel agents, so there is a competition between them also. But what is happening is that if we take the online platform as a separate market, and in that market, what happens is that there are one or two players which are there, like Make My Trip and cheap tickets, etc. So what happens is, because of this network effect, only one or two will survive over there. And then they start getting data. They get this data that over a period of time, because they're into this booking, they know that after 3 days, the demand is going to suddenly shoot up, because there will be a lot of people who will be traveling in the last moment. They use this data because they know the customer preference right up over there. And they would also even know that Mr. Sanjay Chadha only books his ticket one day before, because he's a lawyer. He might get a call one day before. He doesn't know. He has to go. He's an urgent customer. So, and I might be the another person who might book once in a while. I don't travel much. So he will be offered a different ticket. I will be offered a different ticket. And that is because the person who is the booking agent has the data to know what is the consumer price. Now, this type of differential pricing is competitive. It is not per se anti-competitive. But when it is only with one person, because the other person also has this data, he can also give the committee. So if suppose I am a regular person and I am giving always offering him 35,000 ticket, so he will go on to the other person who will give him a discount. and then to third, and then to fourth. But what happens if there is a only single player available over here, and who's a single player, then he has the ability to fix prices. That is wrong. It's anti-competitive.
I would like Akanksha to, shall I ask? There is a question by Anushri Khandelwal.
Okay.
Sir, Anushri only asked the question that I asked earlier. It was asked by Anushri only.
Oh,
So,
no, this
are
is.
you happy with the answer?
No, I asked some other question actually.
So Anushri is there. Let her ask.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Sure.
Sir, so first of all, hello, sir, I'm meeting you after a long time. And Manish sir, thank you for such a enlightening session, and it was really nice. It wasn't boring at all at any point. So we learned a lot.
You attend boring sessions.
That means, Anushri, all my sessions are boring.
No, sir, no, I didn't mean that at all.
Just kidding, on a lighter note. Yeah, please do ask. Yeah.
Sir, so my question was that whenever there's a big merger or an acquisition, we see that there's a major effect on the employment situation. So there might be large scale laying off of people. So this does contribute to the economic situation of a country, however, how minimally it does. So is this something that CCI looks into, or is there some other authority that looks into this situation?
See, merger review under Competition Act, there is a basis to it, and that is, there is a standard. And what is that standard on which we do this merger analysis? It is consumer welfare. So any merger or any acquisition, anything which happens, which is which benefits the consumer. Okay, so the standard is welfare of the consumer. The Competition Act is not an instrument to implement other public policies. Okay. So it is not an instrument. So there are other instruments. So for example, if employment is going down or employment is not there, then the government can give certain doles, or they can have certain restrictions, etc. Those are problems under the legal framework. Okay. So they don't come under the merger review. I am also seeing one more question over here, and I would like to take this question. Is somebody had said about banks.
Yeah, I'll read it.
Yes, sir. I'll be taking those questions after the.
You can tell me about the bank question. I'll just.
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
So, yes, sir. The question is that nowadays many banks have been merged. So, how these merger affect the economy, society, and which types of competition has been wiped out?
Yeah. So mergers is because these public sector banks have merged recently. Now, under the, because questions such as what Anishri had raised could come, there are public interest questions which could be competing with the, on one side there are competition concerns, and on the other side are public interest concerns. Competition concerns are seen from the lens of consumer welfare. So whether it is benefiting the consumer or not. Other public policy things are looked from other policy lens of other policies. So when the banks are merging, now there is a provision which is section 54 of the Competition Act, and under that section 54 the government may by notification, if there is a public interest, in the interest of public, can exempt certain sectors from merger review by the CCI. So here what is happening is, because the government thinks that a public policy which leads to employment or unemployment, or it could lead to certain things. So they because the state of economy is such, because the development agenda is such, they feel that in public interest, we should not look it from the lens of competition policy. They want these banks to come together so that they have better net worth. They're able to deliver their what you call loans and credits properly. They have more economies of scale. So they don't want, they want it to be merged. And that's the policy of the government. So if the policy of the government is such, they exempt the sectors. So there are 2 or 3 sectors which have been exempted. One is the public sector banks, other is rural banks, and the third is oil companies. So previously some oil companies had merged. So that is also outside the purview of the Competition Commission of India. So basically when it is a two public, because our Competition Act is neutral as far as public sector and private sector is concerned. So all public sector acquisition or a public-private acquisition will also come to Competition Commission of India. But if it's a purely public sector unit, they also come to us, but certain sectors in public interest, they may be taken out of the purview of the Competition Act by a notification by the Government of India.
Thank you, sir. That was very informative. So the next question is that in an acquisition, why do goodwill and other intangibles get created?
Pardon? In
an acquisition, why do goodwill and other intangibles get created?
So when we look at assets and when we look at the turnover, when we look at assets, in those assets, we also include the cost, the goodwill also. So it is possible that I am acquiring certain company, and if that company is has a goodwill in the market and I'm using its brand name further, then in that case, I also pay money for that. Okay. And when I pay money for it, then that portion of the goodwill is also included in my, when I have to compute the total assets which are assigned to me. Am I clear?
Yes, sir, definitely, sir. We have learned a lot. I would like to request the participants that if there are any other questions that you would like to ask, you can please
Shelly's
ask.
question is there. Just check it. What is Shelly? What are the internal and external corporate control mechanism issued that issues that are involved in merger and acquisition? That is, how do the company manages its affair in cross-border mergers and acquisitions? This is Shelly has asked this question. One of, have you got it?
Corporate mechanism issues are involved in mergers. How do company manage? So, see, this is something which they have to understand when two companies come. So there could be companies which are multinational companies. So when multinational companies merge together, then if they are operating in more than one jurisdiction, if there is a multi-jurisdiction activity of two companies, then they have to notify in each of the jurisdiction. So suppose it's a US company, auto part company, and it is acquiring another another company, German auto part company, and those two companies are coming together. If they have an operation in US or in Europe or in Africa and South Africa, India, China, Brazil, so they have to notify in all of the jurisdictions. So here, this is how they will have to manage. So each of the jurisdiction may have different laws for merger control. So they file application in all the laws and they have to adhere to both the jurisdictions, their jurisdictions where they are working and in the jurisdictions which they are operating. I hope I've...
yeah, another question which I want to ask you for, do you have your own in the commission? You have your own investigative wing is also there. Just tell us something about the investigative wing and what kind of penalties are there? Whether there are criminal penalties are also there in cases of where the rights of consumers are violated.
Okay, so today
two things. One is this investigative wing, and second is very brief.
Penalty. So wonderful question. Very nice question. Today I have covered only the portion which is mergers and acquisition. And as I told you, this is ex ante, before the transaction actually takes place. But there are ex post regulations also, which are ex post prohibition. So things like cartel, and abuse of dominance, anti-competitive agreements, vertical restraints, predatory prices. All these things are ex post regulation. So what I said is when you're distorting the market. So in these cases, anybody, like for example, anybody who is here or any company, firm can file an information with the commission. There is a very small amount of fee through which you can file, or the state government can file, central government can file, public sectors, they file information before the commission. Once the commission takes that information and forms a prima facie view, they will form a prima facie view whether this needs to be investigated or not. It is sent to investigation wing. It is called the Director General Investigation under the Competition Commission. It's a specialized agency only for under the ministry, only for investigating these competition cases. It is headed by a Director General. There are additional Director Generals and Deputy Director Generals, and the teams are there. So they investigate, like, for example, we investigate a customs case or an excise case or GST case. In the same way, they also investigate cartels, abuse of dominance cases. They have power to search, power to seize, etc. Once the investigation is over, then they submit the report back to the commission. Now, commission on the basis of that report can either impose penalty or close the case. So commission has at 2 points can either close the case or impose continue with the investigation. First is the prima facie case. The prima facie case is under section 26(1). Under 26(1), it can ask for an investigation by the DG's office, or it can close it at 26(2) stage, which is a prima facie case. The case gets closed. No, nothing happens. It can be appealed against. A 26(2) order can also be appealed in NCLAT. After investigation, then there are 2 portions. Either it can close the case, which is under 26 subsection 6, or impose penalty under section 26 subsection 7. The penalty imposed depends on the nature of the contravention. So in the cartel case, it amounts to around 10% of the relevant turnover. For example, recently...
Is it global turnover, no?
Yes.
Global turnover.
If it's a global cartel, then it will be global turnover. Recently, what has happened is that Supreme Court has sort of curtailed this turnover, and it was in this case West Bengal Artists Association. There's a case over there where they said that it should not be the global turnover; it should be the relevant turnover. So, for example, a company is making pens and pencil, and previously they used to cartelize in the market of pencils. So we would have taken the whole relevant turnover of their company, which includes pens and also pencils. But now the Supreme Court has said that you have to only take the global turnover in the relevant market which is concerned. So if I have cartelized in the market of pencils, then I will only be penalized on the total turnover of the pencils. Yeah.
We have another question from Karthi Vats. I think it's if a company does not inform their members about merger and ID also don't present in the company, then who will protect their interests? So, this is as I said, as Manish ji has said, that all the bigger mergers, the amount which he has mentioned, 1,200 crores or those, that big company, every decision is taken, and transparencies are kept. These are not very small companies which are there within the ambit of the commission. We have also with us Dr. Raju Maji from PHU. So please, Akanksha, ask the question of.
Yes, sir. So the question is that government is taking a keen interest to merger of banking sector only. Is there anything hidden behind it, or is there any hidden motive behind that step of the government?
So thank you, Dr. Maji. You are from Varanasi, a place which is very close to me because I was born over there.
So Dr. Maji is teaching in BHU.
Very nice. So it's a question, since you come from the Prime Minister's constituency, and it is the question you need to raise to the government. So not to me. Unfortunately, I will not be able
Dr. Maji has got better access also because
Yes.
his MP is our Prime Minister. So Dr.
Yes.
Raju can ask to the Prime Minister.
Yes.
Very
So
well.
this is not
But
something
there is
which is
something.
something which is in my domain as to why they are preferring banks. But are
Thanks.
they, yes, see, the point is that bank consolidation is an agenda which has been pending for a very long time as far as the government is concerned, because what is happening is that these smaller banks like Bank of Baroda, Saurashtra Bank, they are not viable. So together, suppose in one, they have to maintain, every bank has to separately maintain their HR, their IT, their everything. So because of that, and the government has to manage so many people, so they have to talk to hundreds and hundreds of people. So what they must have done is to get them together so that these banks become viable. And the amount of credit which they have to give to the people. So that may be very large credit may be required for factories, etc., which these small banks would not be able to serve those clients. So once
Yes,
these
sir.
banks come together, it is better. They are in a better position to serve the clients also. So that could be one reason. But I'm really out of my.
Akanksha, I think you can take another question of Divya Prakash Lahiri.
Yes, sir.
And
This,
that's
sir.
the last question because we
Yes,
are
sir.
also running out of time. It's already, we are about to touch 6:30. So
Yeah.
just
Yes, sir. I'll just take the last question, sir. This is a very good question. Sir, the idea of digital market to a certain extent makes the reachability closer to the clients. But a firm like Amazon becomes a big brother and tends to pull their strings to make these companies come under their shadows, which in a way again makes it difficult for the smaller firms to work independently. And the way which Amazon has been playing the card of predatory pricing, how can the idea of a firm working on a smaller scale be not afraid of entering the digital market?
So thank you, Divya, so much. Divya is like a son to me. He is my son's good friend. So I'm so happy that he is here today and he's sought this question. So wonderful question, Divya. This is something which we all need to learn and we need to understand how these platforms are acquiring market power. So these platforms, this is what I want to tell you, that how these platforms are acquiring market powers. What happens that initially the platform works, they have got deep pockets. A lot of investment is coming over there. So they are not concerned about profit. So profit is not. So they are only burning cash. So they have a lot of cash in the. So once you have a cash, what will you do? You will entice vendors. And if I'm a Ola, Uber, I get some 5 zillion crores from bank like we would get from SoftBank. A loan has come to me. I have a lot of cash. I can increase my reach. What do I want? I want my network to increase huge. So I will start enticing my vendors. Okay, so if I'm Amazon, I will start asking my vendors to come onto my platform. And for that, what I'll do is I'll give them deep discounts. Anna. So after some time, these people come on my platform. I get a lot of customers coming. Customers will give data. They will start supplying data, etc. Now, this is what is a normal contractual relationship. What is going on? Why is it called antitrust? Antitrust is because this person is holding my data. I am a small manufacturer. I am a small player. I have come to your market. You are my big brother. You have got all my data. You have to hold that data in trust over here. I break that trust. That is antitrust. And what I do is I stop giving you discounts. I do away with the discounts. And instead, and I get your data. With that data, what I do, I start bringing my own products and promoting my own products and my own brands, etc. And with this promotion of my own brands, I'm with the promotion of my own products and giving them preference. After some times, the data, the other people will not have any access to the platform, and my own products will get a platform. So what I have done is I've cheated upon him. I've stolen his data, and I've used to market my own product. So this is what all these big platforms are doing. Plus, what they are doing is that anybody who innovates or anybody who gives them a competition, they'll buy him out, acquiring. So there is no competition. Anyway, anybody cannot compete with these people because they have so much of data that I do not have that data to come over here and enter into the market. They have all the data, so they want to come. So that is the whole irony of these network effect, that all these. So the idea which we e-commerce study is also coming out with is that there should be some sort of a regulation of these platforms. All these platforms should be neutral. They should allow interoperability, and they should not give preferential treatment to their own brand. Either you run a network or you run a business. Like for example, there's a road going over here. So suppose I own the road, but I only decide who's going to travel on this road. Then I'm gaming. I'm the gatekeeper also, and I'm competing also on the market. These are the unfair practices in the digital market. This is what I want to really tell you, and this was my whole idea to explain to you, and this is the idea which Competition Commission also wants to put it across to people, so that they have a very clear idea of what these platforms are in, what is in for you as a customer, as far as these platforms are concerned. So thank you so much, everyone.
Manish, one very small question.
Yeah.
Anurag Mehta. Akanksha, please ask this question.
Yes,
as well.
sir. So this is, sorry, sir, but this is the last question. So
Okay.
what has been the impact of COVID-19 on approval of combinations?
Oh, there is no impact. So we have been working virtually, and my office, I think the first lockdown started on 22nd of March. Then we just closed down for a week. And from 1st of April, we started our merger approval. We set up a whole video conference system. And through that video conference system, we have started approving merger. So in fact, we are working more efficiently than we were working before. So you go to our CCI Twitter handle, you will see that every second day we will be approving some merger, and we will be uploading it on the Twitter handle. So we are working perfectly fine. So there is no effect as far as the CCI is concerned. Though other regulators, the other side, which is the antitrust side, is slightly affected because we are not having hearings as yet. Hearings are not open, but other meetings and other things are being discussed in the commission. But hearings have not been opened. They will be open for all the regulators. There will be a, I think, uniform policy for all the regulators whenever it happens. But as far as the M&A is concerned, I don't think COVID has affected our working. Otherwise, as far as the market is concerned, that could be another question Anurag might be asking me, how has it affected the market of mergers and acquisition? A lot of companies have lost their value. And they are they are bleeding now because of the COVID. So they become easy target for acquisition by the other company. So this could be one, but we have still not seen such an effect. Maybe it will come in October, November, such type of effect might come. There is more investment in the pharmaceutical sector. That is attracting more investment. Digital sector, you have seen the Reliance Jio deal. Facebook investment was 45,000 crore. There are other people also who are trying to invest over there. So digital platform is again one. Digital companies are doing very, very well. So that's a sector in M&A where activity is picking up. Traditional sector M&A activity is less, but I think as the value goes down and something like this in future, we may see more activity in this sector. So thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you
sir.
very much, Manish. Akanksha, your turn will come after 2 minutes. Let me once again convey my heartful thanks to Manish. And it was really wonderful the way I'm getting the feedbacks here in the YouTube. I will share with you as well all those. Excellent. They are quite large in number. And thank you very much. It was very insightful and very nice discussion which we had. And uh, I would like to also mention here one thing for my participants that we are ready with another round of discussions which will be soon there. And we have got the consent from a very important person, DG Police Uttar Pradesh. We will be talking about the police reforms and how this what you call Criminal Amendment Act, uh, 13th Criminal Amendment Act has, as per him, is failed. He's most decorated police officer, as everybody calls him, Mr. Vikram Singh, will be with us with the next session. I will inform it to you. It was just that. And from my core of heart, I want to thank Manish. Uh, and now I would ask Akanksha to formally thank him.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for this informative session. So it was really enlightening for all the participants. So on behalf of the whole team Briefcase and BSK Legal, we'd like to thank you for this informative session. And thank you, Sanjay sir, for organizing such a wonderful session. And we learn a lot from these sessions and we look forward to such sessions. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
So let me have the last word. I also would like to thank everyone for patient listening. I really enjoyed the session and very nice. And I would like to congratulate Sanjay for organizing such a wonderful session and all the students who have come here. Well done and all the best for all your future endeavors.
It's basically not me. It's these students who are really doing
Wonderful work done.
and this is their effort, their work. They asked me, and I have requested you, and we are here. And thank you very much.
Thank
Once
you
again,
so much. Thanks.
thank
Bye.
you very much. Once again, thanks. And thank you very much to all of you. I would like Yash to please close the meeting now.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Akanksha, and
Thank you, sir.
each one of you. Thanks for coming. Bye.